What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Story Time with Diesel. This time, we're joined with a bottle of bourbon. Okay. So, today's story time is also going to come with a question, and someone please tell me what the fuck was going on. What was the point of this? I'm lost, okay? We'll start there. Quick shot. So, once upon a time, I was on a balloon pop dating show. Whoop dee doo. Right? It was cool, whatever. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't too interested in any of the options, but my cousin was with me. He said, hey, there's a nice little dark skinned chocolatey thing at the beginning of one of the lines. She's probably the coolest thing in there, right? Lo and behold, I end up getting a match with Lil Shawty, right? And we're supposed to go on a first date, right? So it probably takes us like at least 3 weeks, maybe even a month, to actually finally get something set up. And so the first time we said we were gonna link up, nothing came of it, right? The second time we picked a place, a time, a date, and a location, and she told me she couldn't make it. She said she wasn't going to be able to make it. And so we rescheduled it again, and she texted me like 2 hours in advance talking about I'm going to be late. And I'm like, yo, I have other stuff to do today because it was literally the middle of the day. Like we said, like a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, let's grab coffee at the cafe type shit, right? And so 2 hours before time to meet, she's like, I can't make it. And I'm like, all right, bet. Well, if you do end up coming like at 4 o'clock, I got something I got to do at 5 o'clock. So we might as well just not do this, right? And so after that, I just told her, look, maybe we just should let this all just die. You feel me? It's already been 2, 3 weeks. We've already had to reschedule stuff 2 times, 3 times. I don't really like this. You feel me? I don't work like that. If I set aside a time, a place, a date, and a location, you have once to reschedule, maybe twice, especially not with an express good reason. If you have a good reason, cool. It's literally, I just don't like to waste my time, right? And if I can be available for you, is like, I just need things to be equal. That's it. That's all. I just like an equal amount of effort and communication beforehand. And the fact that we scheduled this in advance and you're still 2 hours late, it just lets me know that in the future, I'm going to expect this type of stuff. And time is something that's important to me. So I'm like, maybe we should just put the brakes on it. Little baby's like, nah, most definitely. I think that we should spend some time together. I think we could vibe. Like, we haven't even given it a chance, right? And I'm like, cool, you right. I'm not gonna, whatever, fuck it. Back to the drawing board, right? And so on the third time, it was my fault, right? I got a tension headache. We set a time, a date, and a location, and I literally was laying on the floor in the fetal position. And I called her about an hour, 40 minutes before, and I said, yo, I'm going through it right now. We might have to reschedule this again. And she said, oh, bummer. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm sorry. I'll let you know if I feel better later on tonight. And so I go to sleep. It's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm getting a call from her and she's asking like, yo, how you feeling? And I'm like, I'm all right. Like, and she was like, well, do you still want to, you feel me, link? And I'm like, I guess like it's now 11 o'clock. So I'm like, it's late at night. You feel me? For the last 3 weeks, we've been trying to link and it never worked. If we were going to do a late ass link like this and do the first link at the crib, we could have been did that. You feel me? I wasn't trying to invite you to my house. I wasn't expecting you to invite me to your house, right? But whatever, we all grown. It is what it is. I'm like, shit, if you want to fall through, fall through. She was like, you smoke, we could smoke or something. I'm like, shit, say less, right? By the time she told me that she about to be on her way, it's like midnight, right? So this is where I start having questions, right? This is where I start having questions. As a grown-ass woman, what makes you decide to call a 30-year-old man and tell him you want to come over to his house at midnight or later for the first hangout? I'm not trying to pull up on Lil Shawty at midnight for our first hangout unless I'm expecting, you feel me? You feel me? Like, y'all let me know if I'm moving too fast or thinking the wrong way. Because I didn't call her and say, hey, why don't you come over now? She called me and asked if I was feeling better and if I still wanted to hang out. I said, sure, let's do it. She did not tell me she was ready until midnight, right? And so I'm like, yo, there's this cool little taco spot up the street. Let's grab tacos. She's like, I'm with it, right? She pull up on me. She talking about, I've been sipping already. I'm a little faded. I feel nice. Like, let's go smoke. I'm like, all right, word, true. So we eating the tacos, right? And we eating at the motherfucking, you feel me? I'm not trying to have this in my bag. We eating right there. We eating at the bar. So we finish eating at the bar, and I'm like, all right, cool. We can head downstairs now, right? So we get downstairs, and she's like, where do I sit? I have a chair in my room. I have a chair. I have an ottoman. You feel me? So I'm like, you can sit on the ottoman. You can sit on the chair. I said this in my head, but I'm like, oh, sit wherever you want. You feel me? She chooses to sit in the middle of the bed. I don't give a fuck. You feel me? And I'm still not pressing it like that, but I'm like, yo, she showed up in booty shorts this big and an old t-shirt. I'm talking, it looked like she had it in middle school. So it's like, all right, bet. You showed up with your hair up in an old t-shirt and skimpy booty shorts and sat in the middle of the bed. It's now 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, y'all already know what I'm thinking. You feel me? All right, bet. So I'm not trying to rush straight into it. She roll up one, I roll up one. I put on the smooth music, you know. You already know what I put on. I put some Brent Faiyaz, you feel me? Some old Chris Breezy, Drizzy, you feel me? Love shit, right? She starts singing along. And I'm like, oh, bet. And then she like, let me put something on. She put on some smoother shit than I had on. And I'm like, all right, cool, this is it. Oh, we smoking. She like, I'm tired of sitting up. Is it okay if I lay down in your bed? Of course. So she lay back. We start smoking. It get down to be a little baby, right? Hit that bit. Like, you want a ghost? Blow her a ghost, whatever. We start kissing. Next thing you know, one thing leads to another. Hands is all over the place. You feel me? All of a sudden, everything's exposed. Start playing with it, everything. Oh, I reach for the protection, right? She watches me do it. I sit up and I put him on. I sheath him. And then I lay back down from the side, get ready. And she's like, wait. Okay. Don't put it in. Okay. We stop everything. And we start touching a little bit more. We kiss a little bit more. And so I'm like, all right, bet. You with it. I go again and she blocks it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I go to lay down. She's like, oh my gosh, should I leave? I'm not, what? Whatever. I'm not telling you to get out, right? So we lay down, we talk a little bit. Bro, all of a sudden, it turns into a whole, you feel me? A whole hands-on for her. Turning it up, all of that. And it's dripping. And I'm like, yo, you is dripping like fuck. What's going on? And so one more time, you feel me, inclinate toward, and she's like, no. And so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I flip behind her, I lay down, and she's like, are you going to sleep? And I was like, not necessarily, but I am gonna lay down. She was like, oh. I was like, what do you mean, oh? Like, you're telling me no. You said no and that you don't want to multiple times, yet you still have all your clothes off, and you keep trying to get me to play with you, and you literally were holding him. Of course, if you're not gonna do anything, I'm not about to just put it in. Yes, I'm gonna lay down. She covers her face and is like, oh, should I leave? I should probably go. Okay, well, I don't know, right? I don't give a fuck no more. I'm annoyed. I'll go to sleep. I wake up probably like 30 minutes later and she's like, didn't you roll one? You should light it. Let's smoke. I'm gonna get ready to go home. Light the L. I hit it like 2-3 times, hand it to her. She hits it once, hands it back. I'm like, yo, what is this, bruh? If you was about to leave, why you worry about lighting the L? So finally, she leaves and everything. I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and realize she took her roach. She took 2 roaches out of the ashtray And I'm like, bro, that was mad childish and immature. And I told her I thought it was immature. And she said, just because I didn't want to give you some pee don't mean nothing. And if this is how you're going to show your true colors now, then so be it. What? I need to hit the bottle again. All right. And so the whole part of it that got me lost is why did it have to go that way, right? Because once, like I said, the next day I just hit her and I said, yo, I really don't appreciate the way that everything played out last night. I feel like we're way too old for these types of immature behaviors. And you feel me? And she said, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, dog, like, for you to come over, get completely undressed, get in my bed, be playing with my shit, and then be like, oh, but I don't want to do anything. That I feel like I was just played with, especially because you came over after midnight. And she said, well, what do you mean? Like, it's not my fault. We were supposed to hang out multiple times and it fell through. So I was just trying to make it still happen. And you're talking about me sitting in your bed. Like, okay, where else was I supposed to sit? Bro, like I said, I have a chair in my room. I have an ottoman in the room. There were at least two other options, including also the floor. I'm not expecting you to sit on the floor, but I have had women come over and say, you know, I like to sit on the floor and sit cross-legged in the motherfucking floor before they hopped in my bed, right? And so I'm like, bro, I understand sitting on the bed, fine. But you came over after midnight in booty shorts and asked if you could sit in the bed, and then you looked me in the face and said, is it okay if I lay down in your bed? And I said, cool. So my issue is not that I didn't get to hit. My issue is the fact that you came over so late, dressed the way you were, got completely naked, and then said, hey, I don't want to do anything with you, but still kept stroking him. What are we doing? Don't play with me like that. And I'm not even mad at you. I'm just saying I don't appreciate the way last night went. Because very easily, when you arrived, you could have just said, hey, I know it's on a late night tip, but don't try nothing funny. Or you know, this is our first hangout. I'm glad, you feel me? You could have said anything along the lines of, I don't want to get intimate tonight, or I'm not trying to get piped. And the confusing part for me is the fact that you let everything happen, including touching, finger, lick, all of that happen, and let me put on the rubber. You watched. And then as I get ready to put it in, you hesitate. And it's like, honestly, for me, the problem in my head is just like, I don't think women understand the position that they're putting men in by doing stuff like this. Where it's like, bro, I don't know how to read the situation because everything you're doing and saying is giving me the green light. But then you're throwing in a big ass stop sign and a red flag. And so if I push past this, I'm liable to get in trouble, possibly. Like, this is a questionable interaction, right? But if I stop, it's also liable to be like, oh, he doesn't know how to take control. He doesn't know how to take the lead. You feel me? Or just even how I'm voicing after the fact, yo, that whole situation made me uncomfortable, and now I'm the problem. And okay, well, if you're gonna be upset because I didn't want to give you no kitty cat, I'm glad you're showing your true colors now because I don't need that type of energy in my life. Goodbye. No, bruh, I don't need that type of confusion in my life. I don't need that type of flip-floppy energy in my life. I need someone who's going to say what it is and let it be just that. You feel me? As I wouldn't have cared either way. If I would have hit that night, it would have played no never mind in my opinion of her because we had already been trying to set something up for over a month. If I didn't hit that night and she came over and said, look, I'm not trying to get intimate, I would have respected that too and just been like, cool, I'm not gonna push it. Or I still would have, you feel me, we still could have kissed, touched it a little bit and not gotten completely into it. But the fact that you came over, you bust the kitty open, put it on my bed, and then put it in my hand and then said, but not for you, little nigga. And then when I said, oh, okay, once I laid down, I said, oh, you're gonna go to sleep? Oh, should I leave? Do you want me to go? Oh, and then you're gonna put it in my hand again, but then say, no, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out and stop playing with me. But now I'm the problem. Fuck out of here, what the fuck? And this is why I don't even take a majority of women serious. I don't even try and entertain them because the amount of mental loop gymnastics and workout shit that has to take place just in order to feel comfortable. Fuck out of here. I'd rather just beat my shit, dog. At least I ain't got to worry about nothing.